Virtual photo walks. Virtual photo walks.
Missouri, and we partnered together with Virtual Photo Walks in order to bring you all a view of your memorial in Washington, D.C. How many in this room have ever been to Washington, D.C. to see their World War II memorial? You could raise your hand. Okay, so the majority of the individuals in this room have not had the opportunity to see your memorial yet. Well, we're happy to give you that tour today. At the World War II Memorial, Jimmy Gardner is there. Jimmy is a veteran himself, and he's taken the day off today in order to walk through the memorial. Google Plus Hangouts are a group video chat room for up to 10 people. So, Jimmy, feel free to start walking through, if you will, and we'll talk a little bit about what you're seeing. Also want to say hello to the veterans who are in Iowa as well, watching. We are waving to you here in Missouri. Hello. It's great to see you guys. We're so glad that you were able to join us. Also in our Hangout, we have John Butterill. He is the founder of Virtual Photo Walks. We'll hear from him in a little bit, as well as Bruce Garber, who is sharing some photos for the Pearl Harbor Memorial in Washington, D.C. This is the World War II Memorial, dedicated to you, Americans who served in the armed forces as civilians during World War II. 56 pillars is what you're seeing to the left and the right. A pair of small triumphant arches surrounding a plaza and the fountain that you see there. It's located on the National Mall. This is in Washington, D.C. This is a live picture. If at any point there's an area of your memorial that you'd like to see closer, maybe you have a question about it, we have individuals who are watching right now. Hey, Jimmy. And if the individuals would raise your hands, Michael Hines in Iowa, if you'd comment in chat, we'll stop, get those questions answered for you.
Sure will.
Dominic Phillips is now joining us from Hawaii.
So, sir, I'm going to go ahead and start walking in.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Dominic is on the boat right now, headed out to the USS Arizona. There have been some winds in Hawaii.
So along the wall here, as you see, it's kind of hard to see with the sunlight, but there's reliefs, bronze reliefs depicting various scenes of the war.
We find sometimes on those scenes individuals who come to the World War II Memorial, if they are sight impaired, there's still the opportunity to experience because they are able to run their hands across those relief panels that are right there. This is immediately on the entrance to the memorial on the right-hand side. To the back of Jimmy right now is the Washington Monument. And to the front is a huge reflecting pool. There's the Washington Monument. Your World War II Memorial. There are also lots of quotes from presidents right along the sides. You're seeing wreaths right along the sides there. The memorial opened to the public in April 29th of 2004. It was dedicated by President George Bush on May 29th of 2004, 2 days before Memorial Day. This memorial, it's actually administered by the Park Service in the National Mall. And as of 2009, more than 4.4 million people are visiting this place. Your place, your World War II Memorial. There are two 43-foot pavilions, which you're seeing at the top right there. They serve as markers and entries to the memorial on the north and south ends of the plaza. The northern arch is dedicated to the Atlantic Theater and the south to the Pacific Theater. I know we had some veterans here today who had served in the Pacific Theater. So what you are looking at right now is the Pacific Theater. Inside each pavilion is a sculptural, there's a canopy, and it has 4 eagles talking about victory, victory at sea, victory on land, and victory in the air. Individuals come through this World War II Memorial on their honor flights. How many of you all have been on an honor flight? Some of you, a few of you all have, okay? There's the Atlantic Theater for all of you all who served in the Atlantic. And you see at the top of that canopy, there are eagles there, and an enlarged World War II Victory Medallion in there as well. The memorial itself, it sits about 6 feet below grade. It includes 56 identical white pillars arranged in 2 semicircles surrounding a central plaza. Each pillar is bearing the name of the 48 states that were part of the U.S. during World War II. There's also the territories of Alaska and Hawaii, as well as Puerto Rico, Guam, Philippines, American Samoa, and the U.S. Virgin Islands as well. And those pillars that you see right at the top of your screen, they have wreaths on them and the names of each of the states. You see Georgia right there, Massachusetts. The pillars, they're connected by a bronze sculpted rope that you see in between them, and that symbolizes the bonding of the nation. Each pillar is adorned with oak and wheat, bronze wreaths, and they're inscribed with each of the names of the states. And that symbolizes the fact that not only did the states and territories give their citizens served in the military, they also offered their resources and the fruits of their labor in order to the cause of victory. At a lot of these states, you will see memorials, wreaths placed below, like what Jimmy is showing us there. And that is a place where individuals go to gather and remember some of their fallen soldiers. The fact that not only the states and the territories gave their citizens to serve in the military, they also offer the resources and their fruits of their labor to the cause of victory. And without the hard work, sacrifice, and support from the home front, success on the battlefront was impossible. The pillars themselves, they are arranged in the order of the entry into the Union, alternating south to the north across the plaza, beginning adjacent to the Field of Stars. Dominic Phillips is heading into the USS Arizona in Pearl Harbor. This is a live picture from Hawaii, quite a different contrast as to what's happening now with so many inches of snow out in Missouri. The sunshine looks beautiful. Dominic, we're so glad that you're there and that you're able to bring us a picture of this memorial.
Thank you
While
so
Jimmy
much.
comes back, go ahead, Dominic, you want to say hello?
I just want to say it's a pleasure to be here. We are luckily on the first boat this week that's headed over to the Arizona Memorial. So here in just a moment or two, we'll be walking out onto the memorial itself.
Well, that is a beautiful picture right there. The USS Arizona, as you all know, is no longer in commission, but it is an active U.S. military cemetery. Kristen Talley, who just joined us right now, is also on the boat there, and she will be giving us multiple perspectives of Pearl Harbor and the Pearl Harbor Memorial. Also want to introduce Bill McInerney. Bill McInerney, he is a Pearl Harbor survivor in Jefferson City. Hi, Bill. Can you say hello to everyone?
Hi, Sarah. Yes, hi, everybody. I would much rather be where I was 72 years ago instead of here in the snow.
I bet you would. I bet you would, Bill. We're glad you're here, and you have been to the USS Arizona. How many times?
Well, I attended the reunions out there every 5 years from 1976 until the last one, which was 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm. And so we are looking.
It's quite a few times.
We are looking at the USS Arizona as we speak. Individuals are filing in. The United States flag you see flying on the left-hand side from the flagpole. It's attached to the severed main mast of this sunken battleship. Every United States Navy, Coast Guard, and Merchant Marine vessel entering Pearl Harbor participates in the tradition of manning the rails personnel, serving on the ships. They stand at attention at the ship's rails and they salute the USS Arizona Memorial in solemn fashion as their ship slowly glides into port. So there are three main parts of the Pearl Harbor Memorial. There's the entry, there's the assembly room, and then there's also a shrine. Now, before Dominic and Kristen, as they were coming over on the boat, they saw a movie. There's a 23-minute documentary film that talks about the attack on Pearl Harbor. And this ship was one of the many casualties from the deadly attack by the Japanese on that quiet Sunday that President Franklin Roosevelt called a date which will live in infamy. The Arizona's burning bridge and mast and superstructure were photographed in the aftermath of the Japanese attack, and news of her sinking was emblazoned on the front pages of newspapers across the land. That photograph, in the minds of individuals, could be recalled by a lot of Americans when they heard the battle cry, "Remember Pearl Harbor."
The very graphic shot that was made of the Arizona as it was blowing up was made by an Army doctor who had been aboard my ship to visit his father to go to Mass, and he kept this thing just as the Arizona was blowing up.
The shrine that you see at the far end is the marble wall, and on that marble wall, if you can take a step forward, it bears the names of all of those who passed away on the USS Arizona. That wall is protected by velvet ropes. To the left of that wall is a plaque that bears the names of 30 or so crew members who survived the 1941 sinking and chose prior to their death, or their family chose after their death, to have a canister containing their ashes interred within the wreck by U.S. Navy divers. Of the 1,400 on board the USS Arizona on December 7th, 1,177 were killed. That number is more than half the casualties suffered by the entire fleet on that day of infamy. There are the marble walls, the inscriptions in the marble with the names of Arizona's honored dead. And it reads, within those walls in there, it says, "To the memory of the gallant men here entombed and their shipmates who have given their lives in action on December 7th, 1941 on the USS Arizona. As of last April, there are 13 known living USS Arizona survivors. All known living survivors are U.S. Navy. With the passing of Lamar Crawford on December 22nd of 2001, there are no known living survivors from the Marine detachment aboard the USS Arizona." Individuals lined up there. The USS Arizona was sunk on December 7th, 1941, when the ship was hit by a 1,760-pound armor-piercing bomb during the surprise attack on Pearl Harbor. Shortly before, Japanese aircraft from 6 fleet carriers struck the Pacific Fleet as it lay in port at Pearl Harbor, and ensuing 2 attack waves brought devastation on the battle line and on the air and military facilities defending Pearl Harbor. On board the Arizona, and there you see the battleship Missouri right off to the side. Bill, have you been on that ship?
Yes, several times. When it was still in commission, and we've been aboard it twice since it's been out there behind the Arizona, yes. Matter of fact, I saw the Missouri run aground in 1952. Terrible thing to bring up, isn't it?
Wow.
One thing about the night of the 7th, Sarah, there were 6 airplanes coming in from the USS Enterprise, and it was late at night. It's right around 9 o'clock at night, and just dark as pitch. and 5 of the 6 airplanes were shot out of the sky because they didn't identify themselves as belonging to us. It was very, very eerie that night. Very little sleep. That was the night of the 7th.
The USS Missouri has never had a combat death aboard her decks. It is the site where World War II formally ended. The 58,000-ton battleship, the Mighty Mo, is an inspiration to millions of visitors. There you see the ship. That is the area right there where we were talking about the tiers of the Arizona. And if you're able to see very closely there, you will see oil leaking from that site. And Dominic is pointing it out to the right there. It's glistening in the water. Missouri is still leaking oil even after this many years. I want to bring in John Butterill. John, if you would introduce yourself briefly. And while you were talking, we are working on getting Jimmy Gardner's connection back in Washington, D.C. Tell the individuals here about the premise of virtual photo walks and how it started. John is in Canada, and his mother also was a World War II veteran, a World War II veteran in Canada. John, it's great to see you here today.
What we've done with virtual photo walks is we call upon photographers with smartphones around the world that are doing something interesting, going somewhere fascinating, for their assignments. And I bring them into a hangout like this, and then I invite members of the disabled community or the people in the veterans hospitals or people in isolation for one reason or another. And we try to become their arms and legs of people who can't possibly leave their bed or get out much. Some of the things you can do with this technology is simply take somebody for a walk in the woods. If you're walking your dog, take somebody along with you. That can mean a lot to somebody that used to own a pet but can't get out now. So you want to take your buddy to a pub for a beer. You can take them along with your device and prop it up and keep talking to them and give them a little bit of an experience that kills the boredom of being in a hospital or confined to his room. That's what we're trying to do here.
John Butterill, also John or Bruce Garber, you want to say hello to the veterans here in Missouri and Iowa?
Hey guys, it's so nice to be able to hang out and take you to Pearl Harbor and a little bit of Washington, D.C. What I'd like to say to all of you that are in the hangout with us today from the different veterans hospitals from throughout the country, and any of the veterans that happen to be watching this, we'd like to not only thank you for your service, but in addition to that, we'd like to thank your families for letting you do what you have done to help this terrific country of ours. So thank you all for your service.
There are some individuals who will be joining from all over the world who have a special message for you all. These are individuals who want to thank you for your service. One of the things on an honor flight that the veterans enjoy is at the airport. When they come into the airport, there's a cheering crowd there, people applauding your service. And there are also some individuals who want to share a message with you. Monica Malone, if you would unmute your mic, I understand you have a message for some of our World War II veterans in Missouri and Iowa.
Oh, sure. Well, thank you for your service.
Tell people about how you've had a virtual photo walk as well, correct?
Yeah, I've had the opportunity to go on many virtual photo walks. But yeah, it's been a really great example and a great chance to, visit some excellent places all over the world. My grandfather was also a veteran of World War II, and so getting a chance to be a part of this hangout is very meaningful for me. So appreciate the chance.
Thank you, Monica.
Jamie Todd also joining us as well. These are all individuals who want to say hello to you all and tell you thank you. Hi, Jamie.
Hi.
Can you introduce yourself and tell people where you are? And I understand that you have a message, something you'd like to say to some of these World War II, Vietnam, and Korea veterans?
My name's Jamie Todd. I just wanted to extend my thanks to for those who have served our country. We really appreciate it.
Really appreciate it indeed, Janie, and it's great to see you here, and we appreciate you coming in to share that as well. We have some World War II veterans in Missouri and Iowa who are watching this right now. This is a look at the USS Arizona.
My name is Spencer Monaco. I'm from Kansas City, and I'm in the delayed entry program for the United States Navy, and I will be going to boot camp at Great Lakes, Illinois at the end of June.
What motivated you, Spencer? I understand that you have something that you would like to say to some of these World War II. We have Vietnam, Korea also in this room right now, in Missouri and Iowa.
Yeah, just reading about some of the battles from World War II in high school and continuing on with studying history and college and so forth, and reading about the accomplishments and sacrifices that these veterans have made to secure our freedom. It just really inspired me to do something and give back to this great nation that we all live in. And I just wanted to say how thankful I am that you all decided to serve in World War II and Vietnam and protect our freedoms and make those great sacrifices for us.
Spencer, thank you so much for those inspiring words. Stephen, you are also on the other side of Missouri. If you want to introduce yourself, and I understand that you have a message for some of the World War II, Korea, and Vietnam veterans who are in this room.
I do. Hi, I'm Stephen Monaco, and I'm in Kansas City, and I just want to give my heartfelt thanks to all of you who served. I'm one of those Americans who understands that our freedom comes at a great price, and that price was paid by you veterans, active and retired. So there's millions of us that appreciate you, but it's really important for you to hear it directly from some of us that what you did means so much to us, and our freedom is so valuable, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and God bless each of you. Please know that please know that you're not forgotten. We think about you all the time when we think about our freedom. There at the memorial at the USS Arizona, there were many sailors who luckily survived the attack on Pearl Harbor in December of '41, and those survivors went on to serve our country and eventually left the military and returned to civilian life. And it has been the wish of several of those USS Arizona survivors to be interred with their shipmates after they passed away. So between 1982 and 2010, 33 of those survivors have been cremated, and their ashes were placed in a very special watertight urn, so their ashes would remain sealed within the urn and not be spread throughout the Pacific Ocean. A Navy ship brings that urn to the USS Arizona Memorial Site, and a full military honor guard stages a detailed ceremony to honor that individual. And then, upon completion of the ceremony, with taps playing, the urn is given to Pearl Harbor's chief Navy diver, pardon me, who swims down to gun turret number 4. And excuse me, at the base of this gun turret is a 5.5-foot crevice in the USS Arizona, and the chief diver swims slowly along this crevice until he finds a place where the entire urn can be inserted inside the Arizona, thereby returning that person's remains to be interred alongside their shipmates in their watery grave for all time. And I just think that's a very special thing, and not a lot of people know that, and maybe some of you do, but those of you who didn't might appreciate that fact. Again,
Appreciate that.
thank you for your service so much.
Stephen, thanks for sharing that. We're seeing video right now of the survivors interred with their shipmates. Bill, as we close out here, is there anything else that you would like to share with us, or anything that you would like to share about your memorial?
Oh, it's one of the greatest things and moving things that I've ever experienced. And I think if anybody gets a chance to go out there, it should be done. I can't say, I don't know. I guess, dim my memory somewhat, but I'll never forget the experience I had there. I wouldn't want to relive it, but I will never forget it. And thank you very much, Sarah, for putting all this stuff together, and all of my cohorts that are there with you and Cameron and the guys that couldn't make it, who gave the complete sacrifice. I take off my hat to them. Thank you very much for all you've done, my dear.
Bill, we appreciate you sharing your perspective. We certainly appreciate Dominic and Kristen as well, showing us live images from the USS Arizona. A beautiful day there in Hawaii.
It's just been a pleasure to be here. This is Dominic Phillips. I'm with Virtual Photowalks here at the USS Arizona Memorial in Pearl Harbor on Honolulu, Hawaii. We've just had a great walk with a lot of veterans from around the nation, and we'd like to just thank everyone for the help and everything that they've done to do a good showing for those that have done their work for us in the wars. It's a beautiful day. It's a little windy and rainy out here, and we'd like to thank the Parks Department, National Park Service, as well as the Memorial Service here for letting us come out today and share a little bit of the memorial with you guys all at home.
Well done, Dominic. Thank you very much.
We are going to close out now, and I have some images of the World War II Memorial that we're going to share here as well. I so appreciate all of you all giving your time, and to the veterans in this room, to the veterans in Missouri and Iowa watching this right now, we thank you for your service.
Just come with us, we'll take you there. There's so many different places all around the world, filled with people doing things they all like to share. So come along, virtual photo walks, virtual photo walks, virtual photo walks, virtual photo walks. Virtual photo walks, virtual photo walks, virtual photo walks, virtual